I am very pleased to welcome François Muzard, who is joining us from Paris this afternoon, and our first international speaker for quite some time, it seems. François trained as an architect and has been working for more than 10 years for an architectural firm, Ina Architects, as a project manager and then as an information systems manager. After graduating from the ENPC ESTP BIM Masters Programme, he became a BIM manager and trainer in Revit software. But his interest is in agile approaches, and he developed the Agile BIM Community to implement an agile framework for building sector design. He also co-develops the BRICS application, which aims to make the follow-up and validation of exchanges and decisions in project teams more reliable. So over to you, François. Hopefully you can take control of the screen. We really look forward to your presentation. Good afternoon.
Hello everybody. Thank you very much to invite me. I will share my screen just now. Okay, you see my screen?
We can see your screen. Thank you very much.
Okay. So thank you very much, Duncan, to invite me. So you just present myself before, and I will go to my presentation. So yes, for 2 years we are we are animate a community around agility and BIM. So we start this this community with our interest in the agile practices that are developing in the IT industry, and these practices are developing from the 1990s, and so in this presentation you see all the different methodology that are being developed in the IT industry, and in our industry there is more software than methodology. So it was our first thought to compare how these two industrial sector was developing, and in one you have a lot of technology but also methodology, and the other one you have more technology, but I think, and we think we lost something with the methodology part. So you probably already saw this graphic with the global productivity of our sector. I think it's the same in France and in UK, probably more in France. And so the technology change of the BIM didn't change the productivity of our sector. So all the software company say to us that okay, with the BIM everything will change, but we saw that it's not totally the case, and we think that because we all have this new software, we put a lot of times to learn this software, to buy some new computer and things like that, and but it don't change anything, not everything. We saw before a lot of very interesting piece of software in Revit or so, but we think that we have to put a layer of methodology on the BIM to have more impact on our sector. So we are more interested in the design stage than in the construction stage, and we know that in the construction stage there is a lot of things around lean practices, but we think that for the design stage, agile could be more interested. But the two are interesting together. So I don't know if everybody know about agile, but there is a lot of there is you can go to the Agile Manifesto website, so you can see the 4 most important things in Agile, and there is also 12 more practices. So you can see that on the Agile Manifesto website. And for us, for our industry, what is most important is to have this global vision for everything. So the same level of information for everyone. To have a more smooth collaboration between all the stakeholders. So no more silo of information. To integrate the clients, so we have some meetups, and we have we had a very interesting meetup with Edward Murphy. I don't know if he's here today, and where he present us a project where they put the client in the early stage, and they take the feedback of the client in the early stage, and it was very interested for the project. And when you when you integrate the client, you have the problem to manage the changement. I think I don't traduce it to manage the change. And but with the BIM technology, you can have some process to manage more easily the change, and you have to think that every change could be for a better quality of your project. So change is good in Agile. So we create this community 2 years ago approximately. So we have principally a meetup group and a LinkedIn group. So you can join us on this group, and we organize regularly some meetups. So I will give the address for all this group after. So the website to know more about our Agile BIM framework is agilebim.org. So it's a part in French and a part in English. And so this website is a collaborative website. So it's based on a GitHub technology. So everybody can contribute to the website. The idea is to have some BIM manager and some Scrum master from the IT industry, and together we organize some meetups, and we try to develop this framework with a lot of contribution from different people. So actually the framework look like that. So there is 3 parts. One part is inspired by the Scrum methodology. It's more about the global organization of the team. The other part is more functional practices, so it's day-to-day practice. So it's more on XP principles. And the third part is more about technical, so it's a technical part around the object-oriented practices. So I think I don't have the time to explain all this aspect, but I will talk about some of them. So the role of actors, it's something that we already have in the BIM execution plan, but we don't have it before with the CAD practices. So we think about how all the people in a project will work together. And it's interesting in the BIM execution plan to give a lot of details about that. One thing that is very important is to have an iterative approach. So there is a concept of sprint. So actually, when you have some BIM model are very huge file, so you can exchange them by email like the CAD files. So normally you have a platform, and every week or every 2 weeks you put your BIM model on the platform. So it's an iteration, and you can after you can organize all the team around this BIM model iteration. So every 1 or 2 weeks. In Agile, in Scrum, it's the name is a sprint. So you can have all this sprint, and you cut your project stage in a sprint, and in each sprint you focus the team on some of problem to resolve, and so the team the project evolve from sprint to sprint with BIM model iteration. And after you can have more frequently delivery to the client to have more feedback. So as Edward explained us in his meetup. And one thing that is it is for us, it's the first thing we put in at any architect is to have a continuous improvement process. So at the end of every stage, we make a meeting with the team, the internal team at the beginning, and we say, okay, what worked good, what was not so good, and how can we improve our process or our way to work or to organize together. And so at the end, we have a list of 2 or 3 things, not more, of a proposition to improve the global process of the company, the agency. And after, there is a little team who work on that, or it's the same team that have a short time to do this improvement. And so it worked very well. It's more than one year that we are organizing this, and actually we are trying to start to organize this with all the stakeholders of the project. So us, the architect, but the engineer too, and probably the client in a few months. So this is about the global organization. After, you have some more functional practices. So user story is to describe more when you have something to do. You describe the things to do, and everybody when you are meeting with everybody, you describe more what you have to do, and everybody gives much information about the problem. So it's much easier after to resolve the different subject of the project. Pair work is it's like in computer in IT, when there is 2 people on the same computer. So it's quite interesting to learn more BIM software. So you can have 2 people on the same software. So one is with the keyboard and the mouse, and the other one could give some advice to the other people, or could see good practices. And so there is an exchange between 2 people. So you can do that half a day per week, for example, not more, but it's very interesting for information to move into the company. Design by test. So as I see previously, some people present some tools to calculate carbon, for example. So the idea is to at the beginning of the project to say, okay, we want to be very clear with this information or this performance. And so it could be about carbon, could be about some specific use case or regulation or things like that. And you can write some test or use a tool to automatically, the idea is to automatize this test. And at every iteration, you make the test, and you have to succeed to this test. So the BIM manager could use this to manage the BIM process also. And about the technical part, so the idea is to have a very clear object libraries, but every BIM manager work already on that, but it's always a subject in each company. To have some classification. So I know in UK it's you are working very well on that, but in France we are just beginning, and it's very important after to work with the database, with the BIM database, to have a classification. Otherwise, you can't compare different projects or different variation on the project. And after, the third part could be the modular components. So to cut the building in a lot of different modules, and to work independently on this module. And after, when you have a project, you can compose your building with different modules. Okay, so this is actually the way it look, and we are discussing on some of our meetups about this different stage. And the idea is to share with everybody this framework and to have some feedbacks. And so we present the feedbacks in our meetup about some of these practices. So also I'm developing an application, Bricks App. So it's an BIM collaboration tool platform to manage your subject or your project, and it's like some of you could know Trello, but it's the same type of tool, but more for BIM and more specifically for the AEC industry. So you can create a free account for 3 people actually. And so you go to bricksapp.io, and after you will receive some emails to improve your practices with Agile. So you're welcome to open an account. And so to finish, you can subscribe to our different groups. So we have Agile BIM Meetups to receive some more information about new meetups. So at the beginning of June, we will have someone who will present us the Scrum process, more specifically for the AEC industry, guys from United States. You have the Agile BIM community to share some news about agility in the AEC industry. And you can go to our website, or in this website, sorry, you have all the information about our previous meetups and a description about of the Agile BIM framework. So thank you very much for this short presentation. I don't know if there is any question.
We haven't really got any questions, but what I was going to do, which is putting him on the spot, is Eddie is actually on the call with us, Eddie Murphy. Eddie, I just wondered if you wanted to unmute yourself and just kind of put some context to how you've come across Agile BIM, François, and what you've done. So to perhaps get Eddie's view on this as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of I sort of hooked into François mainly through the sort of bit. I mean, I think a lot of what's kind of going on with François is you kind of really need to understand Scrum. It's a methodology that actually helps you to iterate, to prototype and iterate. So a lot of what François was talking about, we haven't actually got the traction, through the industry. Really, because we're not doing things to actually kick out waste and kick out lots of time. And so what François' methodology allows you to do is actually to do your design in small bite-sized chunks using BIM, review that, kick out the waste, and then the next iteration, you'll actually speed up, go faster, and you'll actually end up with a better product at the end of the project, as it were. So essentially what we're really trying to do here is to say, well, okay, Hackett has actually told us, the industry is really just involved in wanting to get, the fastest product in the lowest possible cost without really understanding where value is and actually how to get to that methodology whereby you can actually go faster, kick more waste out, do things in half the time at literally half the cost, because our industry is absolutely predicated with, I mean, even the best lean projects, there's something like 47% waste actually in what we're actually doing on a day-to-day basis. And if you can kind of think about the number of man hours we spend in meetings, getting absolutely nothing done, the number of times we sit around, on sites waiting for things to actually happen, So what Scrum does, Scrum as a methodology does, is it actually helps to focus in on where the waste is, where things need to be done quicker, how things can be done quicker, how to solve problems, how to get teams, organized and engaged in better ways. So essentially allowing us to actually do those things. And so what François' Agile BIM framework is effectively it's a Kanban board plus what we call sort of blow downs sheet that actually allows you to keep track of. So literally you can actually see exactly what all of the work stream that you need to get through is, who's actually working on what, when, what the next tasks are, and anybody who's on the team can actually see exactly where the project is at any one particular moment in time. And so from that point of view, there's no hiding place for waste, and there's no hiding place for people, not getting on with what they actually need to do, to make sure that the project is actually delivered, in time and on budget. And so where all of this comes into sustainability is a lot of our issues with sustainability are more to do with the fact that we don't have the financial headroom to actually implement sustainability, to get to those, to do all this beautiful pieces of analysis that we've actually seen on this webinar so far. There's no time. There's nobody really wants to put the cost into it. If we want to change a material, we haven't got the time or the cost to actually do it. What this is about is actually getting us to a methodology that gives us that time, that gives us the ability to consider things properly, but also to do it very rapidly and at much lower cost. And so, I mean, I'm absolutely wedded to the idea that Scrum, which has been used in the technology industries, is absolutely part and should be part of our solution, moving forward. So that's kind of, you did catch me off guard, Duncan, but hopefully that kind of explains some of it.
If that's one of your answers off guard, I think you're doing absolutely fine. Thank you very much, Eddie, for that. And thank you very much, François, as well. Really interesting presentation, really great ideas. And as Eddie also put in the chat as well, sort of just getting the industry to think completely differently about actually how to do the processes that we've just done the same way for year in, year out. Because if we carry on doing the same things, we're not going to get things changed or whatever.